Remember that feeling as a kid, cracking open a book about pirates and shipwrecks? The mystery, the adventure, the thought of those silent giants resting on the ocean floor?
Yeah,
Well, today we're tapping into that same sense of wonder
right.
as we deep dive into the stories of four iconic shipwrecks: the Vasa, the Monitor, the Hunley, and the Yamato.
It's amazing how these underwater time capsules can teach us so much.
Oh, yeah.
Not just about maritime history, but about human ambition, innovation, and sometimes the hubris that comes with pushing boundaries.
Absolutely. And let's start with the Vasa,
Okay.
a ship so magnificent it was meant to symbolize Sweden's rise to power in the 17th century.
Right.
Imagine Stockholm in 1628, a bustling port city buzzing with anticipation for the launch of the Vasa, King Gustavus Adolphus's pride and joy.
This wasn't just any warship.
Great.
The king envisioned the Vasa as the most powerful vessel afloat, a floating fortress bristling with cannons.
Right.
He was personally involved in the design, pushing for features like two massive gun decks.
But there's a reason why the Vasa is more famous for its sinking than its sailing.
Oh, absolutely.
They conducted a stability test before launch, having sailors run back and forth across the deck.
Uh-huh.
Talk about a low-tech approach.
It's almost comical to imagine,
Yeah.
but it highlights the limited understanding of ship stability at the time.
Yeah.
They knew something was off, but they couldn't quantify the risk, and the pressure to launch was immense.
So on August 10th, 1628, the Vasa set sail with great fanfare.
Yeah.
And within minutes, disaster.
Oh, yeah.
A gust of wind, and the top-heavy ship rolled,
Wow.
taking on water and sinking less than a mile from shore.
Can you imagine the scene? The crowds cheering, then gasping in horror as the king's flagship disappears beneath the waves. It's a stark reminder that ambition, unchecked by scientific understanding, can lead to disastrous consequences.
But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn.
Okay.
The Vasa, despite its inglorious end, is remarkably well preserved.
It-
Rediscovered in 1956, it's now a museum ship in Stockholm, offering a tangible link to 17th century shipbuilding.
What's fascinating is that they're still battling to preserve it,
Really?
fighting against sulfuric acid damage to the wood.
Wow.
It's a testament to the dedication of those working to save this unique piece of history.
Now, fast forward to the American Civil War, a time of rapid technological change.
Okay.
Enter the USS Monitor, the brainchild of John Ericsson, a Swedish-American inventor who envisioned a ship unlike any other.
The Monitor was the first ironclad commissioned by the U.S. Navy.
Really?
Imagine a low-lying vessel almost entirely submerged, with a single revolving gun turret, a far cry from the towering wooden warships of the time.
One source described it as a shingle floating in the water with a gigantic cheese box rising from its center.
Uh-huh.
Not exactly a beauty queen, but talk about innovative.
That rotating turret was revolutionary.
Right.
It allowed for targeted firing without having to maneuver the entire ship, giving it a huge advantage in battle.
And its moment of truth came quickly.
It did.
In March 1862, the Monitor faced off against the CSS Fregetia,
Right.
another ironclad, in the Battle of Hampton Roads.
This clash, the first ever battle between ironclad warships, marked a turning point in naval history.
Wow.
It signaled the end of the wooden warship era and ushered in a new age of armor and firepower.
The Monitor, despite its unconventional appearance, played a pivotal role in that shift.
It did.
But its story, much like the Vasa's, ends in tragedy.
Oh.
Just a few months after its famous battle, the Monitor sank during a storm off Cape Hatteras, a stretch of coastline known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic.
It's a treacherous area.
Yeah.
And the Monitor, with its low profile and limited seaworthiness, was no match for a powerful storm.
Right.
The sinking was chaotic, with rescue attempts hampered by rough seas.
Oh, wow.
There are accounts of incredible bravery during the rescue, including a surgeon who pushed a colliding ship away from a rescue boat, sacrificing his own fingers in the process.
It's amazing anyone survived.
Yeah.
So we have the Vasa, a grand ship brought down by a design flaw, and the Monitor, a technological marvel that succumbed to the theory of nature.
Right.
But what about a vessel that operated beneath the waves?
That brings us to the H.L. Hunley,
Okay.
a Confederate submarine that represents another leap forward in naval innovation, but also a string of tragic events that almost defy belief.
Let's dive into that next.
Okay.
You know, what strikes me about the Hunley is the sheer audacity of the idea.
Right.
This was the 1860s.
It's true.
Yeah.
The Hunley was a primitive but ingenious contraption.
Yeah.
Picture a hand-cranked submarine, barely large enough for its 8-man crew, lit by a single candle that also served as an oxygen indicator.
It sounds like something out of a Jules Verne novel, but with a much higher risk factor.
You're absolutely right about the risk.
Yeah.
The Hunley's early history is marked by accidents and fatalities,
Oh, wow.
including 2 previous sinkings that killed crew members.
Really?
Even its namesake, Horace Hunley, perished during a test dive.
It's hard to fathom the courage it took to keep going after those disasters.
Yeah.
There was a real sense of determination,
Right.
even desperation,
Yeah.
to make this experimental weapon work.
And remarkably, it did work.
It did.
At least once.
Wow.
On February 17, 1864, the Hunley etched its name in history by sinking the USS Housatonic, becoming the first submarine to successfully sink an enemy warship.
But the victory was short-lived.
It was.
The Hunley, along with its crew, vanished shortly after the attack, adding another layer of mystery to its already fascinating story.
To this day, researchers are still trying to unravel what happened to the Hunley.
Really?
Was it a design flaw, an enemy attack, or something else entirely? It's a maritime enigma that continues to intrigue and inspire.
We've explored a ship sunk by its own design, another lost to a storm,
Right.
and now one that vanished under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears to the Pacific theater of World War II and talk about the Yamato,
Okay.
a Japanese battleship that embodied both technological prowess and ultimately the changing face of naval warfare.
The Yamato was a behemoth,
It was.
the largest and most powerful battleship ever built.
Wow.
It was a symbol of Japan's imperial ambitions.
Right.
A floating fortress designed to project power and dominate the seas.
It's mind-boggling to think about its size. Over 863 feet long,
Right.
weighing over 70,000 tons, with massive guns capable of firing shells over 25 miles.
Right.
It was a testament to Japanese engineering, but it also reflected a certain hubris,
Yeah.
a belief that size and firepower alone could guarantee victory.
And that's where the Yamato story becomes a cautionary tale.
Okay.
While it was a technological marvel,
Right.
it was designed for a kind of naval warfare that was already becoming obsolete. The rise of aircraft carriers and air power was shifting the balance.
Yeah.
And the Yamato, with its lack of adequate air defenses, would tragically become a victim of this changing reality.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's almost poetic in a way.
it is.
This colossal symbol of Japanese naval power, designed for a different era, ultimately undone by the very technology that would come to define modern warfare.
The Yamato's final mission, Operation Tengo, was essentially a suicide mission.
Oh, wow.
It was April 1945,
Right.
and the Allied forces were closing in on the Japanese home islands.
Yeah.
The Yamato was sent out, along with a small escort fleet, in a desperate attempt to disrupt the American landings on Okinawa.
Knowing the odds were stacked against them,
Right.
the officers on board tried to boost morale with sake,
Yeah.
a gesture that highlights the human element amidst this tragic and futile mission.
The attack on the Yamato was relentless.
It was.
American dive bombers and torpedo planes swarmed the battleship, exploiting its weaknesses.
Oh, wow.
The explosions were catastrophic, splitting the ship in two,
Wow.
and resulting in the loss of over 2,700 lives.
The sinking of the Yamato marked the end of an era.
He did.
A poignant reminder that even the most formidable creations can be rendered obsolete in the face of changing times.
You know, as we delve into these stories of shipwrecks, it's
Right.
easy to get caught up in the grand historical narratives.
Right.
But I'm always drawn to the human stories, the lives of the individuals who designed, built, and sailed these ships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about the Voss's master shipbuilder, Henrik Hybertson.
Right.
He died before the ship was even launched, never knowing that his creation would become a symbol of both ambition and failure.
And what about the crew of the Monitor? Can you imagine being trapped inside that iron coffin during a storm?
Oh, gosh.
The noise, the claustrophobia, the sheer terror they must have felt as the ship went down.
It's hard to even fathom the bravery it took to serve on the Hunley.
Right.
Those men, crammed into that tiny hand-cranked vessel, lit by a single candle, knowing full well that their mission could easily become their tomb.
It's a testament to the human spirit,
Yeah.
the capacity for innovation, for risk-taking, for pushing beyond the limits of what seems possible.
But it also raises questions about the cost of such ambition,
Mm-hmm.
the sacrifices made in the name of progress, or in some cases, national pride.
That brings us back to the Yamato.
Yeah.
It was more than just a battleship. It was a symbol of Japan's imperial ambitions, a technological marvel that ultimately reflected the nation's tragic downfall.
Each of these shipwrecks, while separated by time and circumstance,
Yeah.
offers a window into not only naval history, but also the human condition,
Right.
the drive to explore, to innovate, to conquer.
And sometimes the consequences of those ambitions, the lessons learned through both triumph and tragedy.
The Vasa, with its unstable design, teaches us about the importance of scientific principles in shipbuilding.
The monitor highlights the rapid pace of technological change and the need to adapt to new battlefield realities.
The Hunley, despite its tragic flaws, showcases the daring spirit of innovation.
And the Yamato, in its dramatic demise, serves as a reminder that even the most formidable creations can be vulnerable in the face of evolving warfare.
It's fascinating how these stories continue to resonate even centuries later.
They capture our imagination, they teach us about history and technology,
Right.
but they also raise profound questions about human nature.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 4 iconic shipwrecks,
Yeah.
I'm left with a sense of awe, a bit of melancholy, and a renewed appreciation for the fragility of human endeavors, especially when pitted against the immense power of nature.
What stands out to you the most?
For me, it's the realization that these shipwrecks are more than just sunken vessels. They're monuments to human ambition, ingenuity, and sometimes our own limitations.
They remind us that progress isn't always linear.
Right.
There are setbacks, failures, and unintended consequences along the way.
Yeah.
But they also highlight the resilience of the human spirit, our capacity to learn from mistakes, to adapt, and to keep striving for something better, even in the face of adversity.
It's a delicate balance, isn't it? Embracing ambition while acknowledging the limits of our knowledge, pushing boundaries while respecting the forces we seek to control.
And perhaps most importantly, these shipwrecks teach us the value of humility. No matter how grand our designs, no matter how advanced our technology, we are ultimately at the mercy of forces greater than ourselves.
So as we emerge from the depths of these maritime tales,
Yeah.
let's carry with us the lessons they offer.
Right.
Lessons about courage and sacrifice, about the relentless pace of progress, and about the need for both ambition and humility in the face of the unknown.
And who knows, maybe these stories will inspire some of you to delve deeper into naval history,
Yeah.
to explore the countless other shipwrecks that lie scattered across the ocean floor, each with its own tale to tell.
It's incredible to think about those countless other shipwrecks scattered across the ocean floor, each one a silent testament to history, each one with a story waiting to be uncovered.
It's like an underwater museum spanning centuries, showcasing the evolution of shipbuilding, the drama of maritime conflicts, and the enduring human fascination with the sea.
And it's not just about the grand historical narratives. There's something about shipwrecks that taps into our individual sense of wonder and curiosity.
I think you're right. There's a certain romance to the idea of these once majestic vessels now resting on the seabed, encrusted with coral home to marine life, transformed into artificial reefs that support entire ecosystems.
It's like nature reclaiming what was once hers, turning these symbols of human ambition into something beautiful and life-sustaining.
And there's the element of mystery, of course, those unanswered questions, the secrets hidden beneath the waves, what happened in those final moments, what treasures or artifacts might still be preserved within those watery tombs.
Think about the Hunley. Even though it's been located and studied, there's still so much we don't know about his final moment.
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle waiting to be solved, a historical cold case that continues to fascinate researchers and enthusiasts alike.
And that's part of the allure, isn't it? The idea that we can still learn from these shipwrecks, that they hold clues not only to the past but also to our own humanity.
It's like a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It's still there, beneath the surface, waiting to be rediscovered, reinterpreted, and reintegrated into our understanding of who we are.
And it's not just about the physical remains of these shipwrecks, it's about the stories they tell, the lessons they offer.
The Valsa, with its emphasis on stability, reminds us of the importance of balancing ambition with a solid foundation of knowledge and understanding.
The monitor highlights the rapid pace of technological change and the need to adapt, to embrace innovation, and to be prepared for the unexpected.
The Hunley, despite its tragic history, showcases the daring spirit of human ingenuity, the willingness to push boundaries and experiment even in the face of danger.
And the Yamato, a symbol of power ultimately undone by its own limitations, teaches us about the cyclical nature of progress. The fact that even the most dominant creations can become obsolete, and the importance of recognizing those shifts before it's too late.
These shipwrecks, in their own way, offer a glimpse into the ebb and flow of history, the interplay of human ambition and the forces of nature, and the enduring power of storytelling to connect us to the past and inspire us to navigate the future with greater wisdom and awareness.
So the next time you see a picture of a shipwreck, or read a news article about a new discovery, or even just hear the sound of the waves crashing on the shore, take a moment to reflect on these tales from the deep. Let them remind you of the lessons they offer, the mysteries they hold, and the enduring connection between humanity and the sea.
And as always, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those minds engaged. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the stories of shipwrecks. We'll be back with more fascinating explorations soon.